We heard a lot of reactions from superintendents, not all of them, but a lot of them just saying, this is one more thing for us to try and take on and manage.
The guidance said, if you want to do high school sports, this is how you can do it. If you don't want to do high school sports, don't do it.
Those in support of a sports season say it's important to keep the students involved in extracurriculars as well. Well, the 87-year-old retired Fallsburg town judge who killed 2 teen boys in a crash last June indicted Tuesday for his involvement with their deaths. Our Olivia Leach now hearing in depth from the mother of Justin Finkel, one of the victims, on how this has affected her and her family.
It's a smack in the face. It's a smack in my son's face. My son lost his life to this man, and he is not being held accountable.
Bonnie Finkel's son, Justin Finkel, was 14 years old when he was hit and killed along with his friend, 16-year-old Devin Zeninger, while walking on Glenwild Road in the town of Thompson on June 2nd of 2019. Over a year later, she's still reeling from Justin's death. She wears a face mask with his picture on it every day.
I think that they did this to get Isaac off because he was an honorable judge at one time. But as I look at it, when he was behind the wheel, he wasn't a judge when he killed my son and his friend.
The Sullivan County DA charged the retired town judge Isaac Kantrowitz with 1 count of reckless driving, which is a misdemeanor, and 2 traffic violations for failure to exercise due care and speeding.
And we know that speed was a factor. And we're very confused as to why, if speed was a factor, why was he not charged for at least reckless endangerment? It just, none of it makes sense.
Kantrowitz was ordered not to drive, and he's now the subject of a DMV unsafe driver investigation. Bonnie was hoping for more disciplinary action from the judge, but acting DA Megan Galligan saying the circumstances are not enough under existing law to support a more serious charge. Bonnie says she plans to continue to fight for her son.
I lost my son. He's never coming back. But I'll be damned if I'm going to let him die and not have the justice he deserves.
We reached out seeking comment from Isaac Kantrowitz or his attorney for this story. We'll update if we hear back. In Sullivan County, Olivia Leach, Spectrum News.
The Ulster County SPCA helping animals that have been impacted by Hurricane Laura down south. 6 dogs, 29 cats arriving at their Kingston shelter Thursday afternoon. Staff with the SPCA driving all night to bring the animals back to New York from the hard-hit Louisiana and Texas border area. No word yet on when the cats and dogs will be up for adoption. All right, coming up on 6/11, and we have several severe thunderstorm warnings, which are all pretty much lined up here from northwest to southeast. And actually here, before we get through that, or before we get to that, I should say, I want to talk about a flood advisory. We've had these downpours and thunderstorms hitting the same spots over and over again. This includes the city of Newburgh and Poughkeepsie. Could be seeing some poor drainage type flooding, some minor flooding in low-lying areas. If you're traveling this evening and encounter some minor flooding or a water-covered road, turn around. You know the saying, don't drown. Have no idea how deep that water may be. Now, here's why we have all those severe thunderstorm warnings. We just have these cells lining up one after the other, and this is also a decent setup for flash flooding because these downpours and thunderstorms are just tracking over the same areas over and over again. We've got this one right now into Orange County, right along the 84 corridor, affecting the Newburgh region, potentially some strong winds associated with that in excess of 60 miles per hour. Over into Sullivan County, where things are rather active, southeastern part of Sullivan County, and also the northwestern part of Sullivan County up toward Callicoon and Jeffersonville. This next one, which is building in, capable of damaging winds in excess of 60 miles per hour as well. And as you look back to the west toward Binghamton, we've got more on the way over the next couple of hours.
At Spectrum News, we're striving to help rebuild communities by bringing you the latest news from your team of